Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin and Cardano. In this video we're going to take a look at both charts, the Bitcoin chart and the Cardano chart, and overall at least the boring time is over, at least for now. Yeah, we have seen a little bit of movement here in the last 24 hours, which is fantastic. Upside for crypto. Volatility is always good, keeps it interesting and allows people to take profits if they wish to. So we are here on the Bitcoin chart. Bitcoin, this is my primary scenario here still on the chart. For everybody who's new on the channel, I am of the view that we are seeing here a correction from our wave 1 top back in April 21, which was the back then all-time high, a larger wave 1 to the upside, that we are now in this wave 2 correction. Within we are doing an A, B, C correction, and the wave C should land in that yellow target area here between 20 and 29k. We did start talking about that scenario back in November. Since then we have seen a strong correction all the way down to 33k, so we haven't quite reached the target area yet. Okay, I am still of the view that we're going to get there. The question is and remains, are we going to get there straight away, or are we going to see a little bit of a price increase and go down then? Yeah, at the latest I would expect a strong correction at 65k. So if we break above, and that is the key dividing level here, yeah, this ascending trend line, you can see that here at 46.5k. If we break above that, not only we are breaking above this ascending trend line, we are also going above a Fibonacci retracement level, from which I would see the alternative on the chart much more likely. And the alternative would be, so the primary expectation still is that we are here in this movement here, where we see the wave 3 as complete at 33k. We are now in a wave 4, or even completed that already. We might still be in the wave 4, we don't know. And that the wave 5 sell-off will be the next wave to the downside, and that can then take us into the target area. As long as we have not broken the 46.5k level yet, I have to assume that is still the case. That has been the primary expectation. That still is the primary expectation. It is also my preferred expectation, because Bitcoin needs to do that lower low in order to get to new all-time highs. Yeah, I'm convinced about that. It has done these things in the past. And yeah, just because we see a little bit of upside here, which to be fair is not too much different from what we saw here, yeah, just because we see that, there is no reason to suddenly change scenarios. Overall, what we could be seeing here, what we're doing here, could still be a wave 1 and 2 to the downside. Yeah, I don't really like counting these microwaves, because small waves, because in the end it can give you a false picture, right? And they change a lot. Yeah, so the smaller the wave count is, the more often you have to change because then this is so dynamic, right? So I rather like to look at the larger waves here, for example, from that wave 3 to that wave 4. But it is certainly possible we see here a wave 1, 2, then could get our wave 3 down, 4 and 5. That is all still possible, yeah, until we break here the 46.5k. For me, that scenario down is the primary one. Now what happens, that is because this looks so much like a 3-wave structure. Yeah, it looks so much, it doesn't look impulsive. Yes, this move here yesterday was impulsive, absolutely, but now I would need to see a higher high. We're not doing that. We're still fighting here with that resistance level at 44.5k. That is the level we talked about. It looks like we're currently slightly breaking above that, but then we've got the next one at 45.5k. And then the one that is really the divider between both scenarios is here at 46.5k. That is really the level I'm watching out for. And I don't have any stomach pain or anything if we get to that alternative done, because on this channel you're prepared for both scenarios. I always mentioned, not only when I do my altcoin videos, but also for Bitcoin, I mentioned that I started to dollar cost average into Bitcoin again below 40k, and yeah, fantastic, isn't it? Near the low, not quite down there. It was just below 40k, but it doesn't matter, already in profit, fantastic. And if we see the alternative play out, then we are going to be able to take profits, because that would then be an interesting price range and profit range as well, because the alternative wave count would be that we are doing a wave B to the upside. So this was my original expectation, actually, when we did the first sell-off here in December, that we would see a more substantial year-end rally. Now we haven't done that, no problem. The preferred option was always to do a quick sell-off, and that actually happened. I liked that idea because with that quick sell-off, we could finish the correction faster, but it could be that we now are going to see this wave B, and this could then again just extend that whole correction. Okay, so where you get your, oh no, that was the wrong one. No, ABC. So where you start from the top, this here was your A. Now we're going to see the wave B potentially, but only if we break above 46.5K. And that could take us in an ideal case to 55K. That is the 61.8 fib level. That would be the most likely one. And then you can come down in your wave C, right? That will of course extend the whole thing, right? It will extend the whole thing and will probably push the whole correction into Q2, maybe even Q3. And that wave B, where can it get to? Well, it can get to, in an ideal case here, the 55K level, possibly higher, 61 or 65K, but we can't say that now. We need to see how the price is running, what the indicators are doing, how quickly are they getting overbought, and so on. So at the moment, this scenario only gets live when we break above 46.5K, and I will then take profit somewhere in this range, and I will update my sell orders on Discord for channel members for that as well, because as you know, on this channel we are prepared for both scenarios, because there is no guarantee. Yeah, even though I strongly believe that, and I have to say that because there are many people who are new in the thing and everything, there is no guarantee that we're ever going to get into this yellow target area, right? I mean, it is highly likely, but as I always say, everything only works in terms of probabilities. There is never a guarantee, but therefore I try to prepare you for all scenarios here on this channel. And what you get on this channel is always clear cutoff points. So we had here, when we were at I think 54K back in end of November, I mentioned that if we break below 54K, and we did that here, then we are going to see a huge sell-off. And that is what happened, and I did remain bearish all the time. I still remain bearish because until we break above 46.5K anyway, this scenario with the immediate sell-off is still at play here. And if we break above that, all of that would do is just an extension of the correction. First, a move up would give possibilities for profit taking. Actually has a good side to it, because I know that a lot of people are currently at a loss. Yeah, not only retail investors, but also I know a lot of professional investors are currently at a loss, and there is a lot of opportunity for profit taking when we get into these higher price ranges. So there's a good side for everything, and then this money could then be spent for buying opportunities lower. So at the latest at 65K, I would expect then the major sell-off to start, but only if we activate the alternative scenario, which hasn't happened yet. Okay, yeah, and that is my view here on Bitcoin. We broke obviously here yesterday an important resistance, the 41.5K. I talked about it before, that the indicators would support higher levels. That in the end worked out. Unfortunately invalidated one of the immediate sell-off scenarios, but it doesn't matter. It still hasn't invalidated here the overall sell-off at all. And yeah, we're not overbought yet on the daily, so still could see a little bit further upside. On the 4-hour chart, Bitcoin is already overbought, so we need to be a bit careful there. Not yet on the daily though. On the 4-day chart, we now see a bullish crossover, which is a positive sign, which could really support higher prices and that alternative scenario. And when I first started to talk about this alternative scenario, I think it was here when we were coming up from that 33K level, I did say that the indicators, especially here like the weekly or the 4-day chart, they were really, really low, and that we needed to see a recovery because the indicators were so low that you really struggle to push much lower. As you can see, if the 4-day, on the 4-day chart, we were nearly at 32. So you could already see that move up coming. Now the question is just how much higher can it push? And for me, the dividing level is here really that 46.5K level. Now looking at Cardano hasn't really moved since this morning. It is holding above the 61.8% fib level. That is sitting at 96 cents. So that is good for Cardano, but also here any move up nothing too exciting yet. You know, Cardano could still be in that imminent downtrending scenario. Cardano has not broken out of this channel, so if I make that a little bit smaller, you can see the descending channel here. For me, Cardano less bullish than Bitcoin, for example, at the moment. Bitcoin has moved much more in the last few hours. Cardano is, yeah, to some degree moving with Bitcoin, but still far away from a new high. Yeah, we would need to break above, in my view here, at least 125 to make really a higher high, and then you want to see a higher low. And then theoretically for Cardano, which is different to Bitcoin, for Cardano the low could be in. The indicators are much lower. We have hit the target area already, at least the first one. We haven't reached that one now, but the low could be in if we see a higher high, a higher low. That would be a possibility at any point in time. That is why I also started to dollar cost average into Cardano already. So I'm pleased both ways. Got some more buy order set down here. And the indicators would also support further downside, absolutely. But in a scenario where Bitcoin would break 46.5K and move to the alternative scenario, I think Cardano can move up quite a bit. And we then need to see how the price is really starting. But as you know, Cardano can move up quickly. And these bull runs, they can go really, really fast. You get 10-15% in a day. And that will be for many people a surprise. And therefore, I want to be prepared from my side. And therefore, I did already start buying for Cardano, as you know, and as all the channel members know. We also broke out of this descending wedge. And to be honest, if we now see some volume, this should really push us to the previous high here, because at least to 160, because this is normally the target of a wedge. So the ascending wedge, the technical target would be the beginning of the wedge, would be here in this case the 160 level, maybe even 162. But we don't see the volume yet, but it has broken a key resistance level. So if we now see volume coming in, that should push the price higher easily. But there is still the 50-day moving average here on the way, in the way at $1.10. Yeah, so that is a key resistance level as well. But good sign to see that yeah, Cardano broke out of this descending wedge, which is a bullish pattern, and we talked about it could break out of this as it did back here. That was in July 21, and you know what happened after that. We saw new all-time highs. So be prepared for anything in the currently very, very difficult and really hard to manage market conditions. It's really difficult at the moment. There's so much happening and so many emotions in the market as well, and people are very scared. Yeah, and a lot of uncertainty still in the market. So my view is, let's just expect another run for Bitcoin, and if that happens, that would be so much. It would actually fit very well into the general sentiment, because you know, emotions can very quickly now spark something like that, and it due to the uncertainty, you can very quickly get an irrational run or something like that. Yeah. So it will be very interesting, certainly, but as I've explained in this video and in all the previous videos, we are prepared for all scenarios, and I think that is so important in the crypto space, that you know what is coming and understand the different possibilities in the different scenarios. Okay, that is my view here on Bitcoin and Cardano. Hopefully you liked the updates. If you did, please smash the like button and subscribe. And if you really like the content, yeah, then check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.